A spark can give life or take it, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing April the 9th. When Arc Week is kicked off, we're going to go over some top exotics, a 3-part series. The Hunter, the Warlock, the Titan. We're going to start with the Titan. You can take a look at the emotes you can expect to see on April the 9th. But if you're all remembering back January the 29th, that was when the Titan got another buff that was previous. If you weren't familiar with that, I made the Supercell build built all around that stuff, and yet again, we're going to see another buff happening on April 9th. You can pause and read this. This was the January 29th buff update, if you want to kind of get up to speed with that. But let's talk about what's happened April the 9th. So, Frontal Assault. Strike an enemy with the melee ability to reload the current weapon and increase your weapon stability. And then we also have Knockout. Critically wounding an enemy or breaking their shields, increase your melee range and your damage temporarily. So those are the two things that are going to be happening on Arc Week. So let's start with the Frontal Assault. Now increase all weapon damage for the duration of the buff, not just the equipped weapon. You have 25% in PvE, 20% against PvP people, and the duration was increased by 6 seconds. You're also going to get a timer on your HUD displaying that. Knockout. Melee damage bonus increased from 25% to 60%. It now also triggers once you have dealt 60% damage to a target. Any damage done after 60% refreshes the timer, starts it all over again. Still also triggers on a shield pop. No longer consumed after one melee attack, and the duration was increased by 2 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds basically. So with those two being said, let's talk about these top exotics and which ones will benefit that buff more than anything on Arc Week. Starting with the most obvious, an insurmountable Skull Fort. Heal yourself and recharge your melee every time you do this. The thing is, with Frontal Assault, I don't know if this is going to be patched or anything, but when you do 3 consecutive melees with the Frontal Assault, it will reset the melee and have to charge it all over again. So try to space those out when you're using the insurmountable Skull Fort. But even with that patched or no patch, it's still a beast exotic, and I highly recommend it for all trees. Moving on to the next one, the One-Eyed Mask. Marks the enemy that dares to damage you. Track down and destroy your enemy for increased damage and overshield. Just by having that, proccing with the buff that's happening, it's just an all-around great exotic. It doesn't really matter what subclass you use with One-Eyed Mask. It's just overall beast to have, and that's why it is included on this list. AC Feedback, Fury Conductors. This is pretty beast with the update that's happening. Melee kills build energy, and then being struck by a melee attack reduces your incoming damage and unleashes the energy in a devastating explosion. So the more melee kills that you do, the more energy you build, and then if they hit you, they get f***ed up pretty much. So this is all around the buff update. These are probably going to shine quite a bit in Gambit and PvP. Another exotic that's been shining, Synthoceps. Increase melee lunge range and improve melee and super damage whenever you're surrounded, which is all the time in Gambit. These are great for PvP as well, but these are going to be really useful. I mean, Frontal Assault, with all the damage you're going to be... I mean, you already know, dude. These are freaking nasty. But an exotic you don't hear too much about that is definitely going to be shining in Arc Week is Wormgod Caress. Burning Fist, melee kills increase melee damage for a short period of time, but additional kills extend the duration and increase the effects. This, with Frontal Assault and with Knockout, you want to talk about waking a giant. I think these are going to be woke April the 9th with that buff update. These are all around the melees, dude, so enough said. This exotic really has nothing to do with Arc Week, but I think if you built your Guardian right with that bottom tree, having the dual grenades could really pay off. But like I said, that's just if you built it right and have everything set up around the melee and the grenade. These would be pretty nasty to have, especially with the plus 15 armor on a Titan with the Reaper. Just saying, I think Armamentarium can shine with that bottom tree. I think more people associate this one with the Solar class, but for the Arc, especially the bottom tree buff, Overflowing Light on the Heart of Inmost Light, using an ability, a grenade, a melee, or a barricade, empowers the other two abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. All around, this is just one of the top exotics for a Titan. It's focused around everything, every ability, and just shines. And with the buff happening, it's just going to be even more top-notch. Moving on to the leg pieces, Dune Marchers, Linear Actuators, increases sprint speed. Sprinting builds up a static charge. After melee attacking an enemy, that charge will chain damage to nearby enemies. So with Knockout and Frontal Assault, increasing your weapon damage and chaining to other enemies in Gambit or PvP. All around, top exotic, another top exotic for Titans in general, just for any subclass that you want to use it with. And then finally, this is more of an honorable mention, The MK44 stand-asides. Seriously, watch out. Grants an overshield when you're sprinting at full health with either Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, or Shield Bash equipped. Hits with these abilities recharge a portion of your melee energy. I don't think I would choose these over some of the other exotics, but all around, having the shield and everything like that, they're kind of a beast exotic, and I wanted to include them. Somebody can surely make those do some work. But that is it, Guardian. Those are the top exotic choices for the Arc class on the Titan. Other changes that are going to be happening April the 9th, Gambit Prime weapons in Reckoning and Imp Prime are going to have an increased drop rate, so you have a better chance of getting those. You actually get more of an increased drop rate chance until you actually get a weapon. And then as far as invasion kills, they only heal 8%, coming down from 12%, so invasion kills aren't going to be worth as much anymore. And the cooldown portal is going to 40 seconds from 30 seconds. The cooldown triggers after players have been killed. And Gambit Prime will now count to unlock the weekly Gambit Clan Engram, so you can get that to get more power-up rewards as the week unfolds. Guardian, don't forget, send me your clips. I will put them at the end of my videos, whether it's a cool kill, a cool Sparrow trick, a 1 in a million shot. It doesn't matter what it is. If you think it's cool, send it to me, and I will post it for you so you can get that spotlight for that kill that you want everybody to see, or whatever you wanted everybody to see. But other than that, Guardian, thanks for tuning in. Those are your top exotics, a little bit of a news update. And other than that, join the Discord, hit that subscribe button so you can get more content. Let me know how you found my channel in the comment. I'm always curious how people found me. Other than that, Guardian, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.
In space.